South Korea's largest daily newspaper is reporting that Kim Jong-un ordered a firing squad to execute his ex-girlfriend and 11 others. This is a really hideous story. I should note that there is an anonymous source from China who is contributing to this story. So, take it for what it is. However, if this report is true, it is truly hideous. So apparently this woman by the name of Hyon Song-wol, who was part of a state-funded orchestra in North Korea, dated him about 10 years ago, and she allegedly participated in a porn involving, her orchestra mates. And because of that, the North Korean government went after her and the 11 others and killed them with a firing squad or through a firing squad as punishment. While they did that, their close family members had to watch it. And I can't even imagine something like this happening. 10 years ago, she was dating Kim Jong-un. Apparently, his father was not in favor of the relationship and made them break up. However, there were rumors that they were still seeing each other, even though she had gotten married to a top military official in North Korea and had a child. And of course, Kim Jong-un is also married. So
that's a part of the drama I want to get to in a second with my absurd theories. But I mean, you want to talk about absurd. So that's the thing about North Korea, right? I mean, the stories are so over the top, unbelievable that they reach like laughing point absurdity, but at the same time it happened to real people and it's so tragic. I mean, to give you a sense of what happened here, first of all, let's just get one thing absolutely clear. The orchestra didn't tape a porn. That's ridiculous. And of course, they needed an excuse to kill them, so they machine gunned them. I mean, look, what is this, the 1930s in Chicago, right? And so, and they do that, and to say that the orchestra was doing porn in the middle of North Korea. And then an expert comes in towards the end of the article in the Telegraph and says, well, the normal punishment for porn in North Korea wouldn't necessarily be execution.
I know, which is ridiculous. In North Korea, it would definitely be execution.
If they want to execute you, they're going to execute you. Yeah. They're just making up excuses. Anyway, here's a quote. As I said, they were executed with machine guns while the key members of the Unhasu Orchestra, the Wangjasan Light Band, and the Moran Bang Band, as well as the families of the victims, looked on. So they gathered all the orchestras and the bands while they execute these poor 12 folks, and then they take the members of the bands and their family members, and they send them to a prison camp. They're like, well, I mean, if they were involved in a porn tape, you guys must have somehow, by guilt by association, go to prison camp for God knows how long, maybe the rest of their lives. Okay, what a vile place. I mean, look, obviously the poor people of North Korea have no guilt whatsoever. I feel terrible for them. The leadership of North Korea is so disgusting. And it's one thing when it's funny, like, his father, of course, Kim Jong-il, he bowls a 300 in every game, and he once did a hole of 18 holes of golf and 27 shots, and all these insane legendary mythology about him, etc. It's another thing when they, and by the way, like the songs of her orchestra, etc. Oh my God, like these were the popular ones: "The Footsteps of Soldiers," "I Love Pyongyang," "She's a Discharged Soldier."
That one sounds really good, actually.
Yeah. "We Are the Troops of the Party," and well, that might be a pretty cool party, but. And then apparently the song she was most famous for was her 2005 song, "Excellent Horse-Like Lady," which is probably lost in the translation, okay? But I love that they had to clarify that it's paid by the state. Oh, really? You think so? "I Love Pyongyang," paid for by the state. I didn't see that coming, right? What an insane place.
I know.
Okay, you think that's crazy. Apparently, Kim Jong-un took his own stepmother, Kim Ok, and purged her from the state, okay? I don't know what that means, but I don't believe she's executed. Okay, thanks God.
It was his stepmom, though.
The stepmom,
yeah.
So it's no big deal. Okay. Then we go to Kim Chol, who was the vice minister of the army. Apparently his main crime was drinking and not being sufficiently depressed during the mourning period for Kim Jong-il. Kim Jong-un said that he wanted, quote, "no trace of him behind, down to his hair." So they had him stand in a spot, and they dropped a bomb on him and incinerated him. I don't know, man. Look, we got no business starting any new wars, and I'm not interested, and it's a dangerous situation. They got all that weapons pointed at the Seoul, South Korea. I'm scared to death for what's going to happen here. But the people running this country are absolute lunatics. Now, finally, to the point about the wife, like, I don't know why, but the minute I saw the wife and a couple of like statements about the wife, from the wife, etc., I don't know if you remember this, Anna. It's like there's something about her. Now, that's the girlfriend, obviously, or the alleged girlfriend from 10 years ago, possibly still going on, right? And here's the last quote from the article from the Telegraph. Apparently, his wife was also in the orchestra at some point. Whereas Kim's wife once belonged to the same group, it is possible that these executions are more about Kim's wife.
Yeah.
And I swear to you, that's the last sentence in the article. When I started reading the article, I was like, it's got something to do with his wife.
I think it has something to do with his wife as well. And of course, we're just speculating. But it just... there's something off. I mean, think about it. Kim Jong-un was dating her 10 years ago. It seemed like they really hit it off based on these articles. And then Kim Jong-il did not like her, so he forced his son to stop seeing her. And it sounds like the typical like love story where it's like, my parents don't accept you, but I love you.
Right.
So it's not that far-fetched that they would still secretly try to see one another. And so, I don't know, did his wife find out that there was something going on and she wanted some sort of, you know, revenge? It's not that far-fetched, especially in a place like North Korea.
Yeah, and so look, we don't know, and remember, it's an anonymous source from China, so the degree to which any of this is true is still yet to be determined, but if any of it is true, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's drums, but then when they do drums in North Korea, they do it in a particularly ugly way, where somebody either gets machine gunned or has an ordnance dropped on their head.